Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Today I'm going to talk about something you guys have been asking for a long time. Penny stocks. How we can find these small treasures and dump money on it and then watch it grow and book these amazing profits. Sounds too good to be true? Of course it is. Penny stocks are rubbish. And the case in point, the recent story from Financial Times. Read it in yesterday in Financial Times that 7 Chinese microcap stocks listed in the Nasdaq, Austin Technology, Phaeton Holdings, surged, right, thanks to WhatsApp promotion and social media before crashing 80%. Those two stocks alone have cost investors around $3.7 billion. And the FBI has noted there's a 300% annual increase in pump and dump complaints. So, why is this happening? First, let's talk about what is the mechanics of a pump and dump. Pump and dump is very simple. A promoter enters the stock market and then he pumps the stock up with false information, exaggerated claims of returns which are stellar, and then once it's reached a peak, he'll of course sell out and cash out and allow the price to collapse. These early methods included, of course, something known as the boiler room, which is not very prevalent today because today now we have social media. In the days of the boiler room, you'll get calls like what we get nowadays. Sir, do you need any working capital for your business? Can we support you? Sir, are you into trading? We are calling from Timbuktu. Would you like to buy some stocks? You want tips? And of course, unwittingly, unknowingly, someone sees someone making money or believes they see someone making money in social media, seeing all the Lamborghinis and Dubai trips and whatnot, thinks, here's my chance to get into the action too. If I just place my bets on 10 of them, one will turn into succeed, not realizing all 10 are fake and you're going to lose your money. This is how pump and dump works. So they entice you, they pull you into the conversation, and before you know it, you're ready to fork over a few thousand rupees or a few 10,000 rupees or even a few lakh rupees by borrowing from a friend, because initially sometimes they let you win a few before they let you put in all your money and wipe you out. This is very common nowadays thanks to social media because of WhatsApp, Telegram. At least in WhatsApp groups, it's traceable. So if you make a complaint, you can actually try and figure out who's doing this to you. But on Telegram, it's even harder because of the anonymity in Telegram. Where are the roots of this? This goes way back since the dawn of time. Since the beginning of stock market, it's been going on. 19th century, famously, Daniel Drew was executed a pump and dump cornering in stocks. And this led to some of the early stock regulation, early fraud regulation. In the 1920s, the mutual manipulation on larger scale led to the Great Depression, the stock of 1929, and through the creation of the Securities Exchange Commission. And of course, Anaconda Copper in 1928 to 29, Ryan and Rockefeller, they manipulated the share price and let it spike. And then there was a staggering loss which investors felt, and this destabilized trust. This is what happens with penny stocks. What happens is the public lose confidence in the stock market as a whole, because you enter thinking it's a gambling den and you can game the system, then you lose money, then you blame the other person for it. Well, the entire time the fault lies in you when you were conned into something that was not. Why does that happen? Because of FOMO and you understanding the whole idea behind the stock market wrong. And if you don't understand what is a stock market, this is what leads to it. Even the Wolf of Wall Street, famously made into a movie, was this. And thanks to now crypto and all the things that are happening in crypto and the new digital age life we live in, this is happening over and over again. The NFTs, the whole NFTs was this, where people were buying artwork in a fictional universe, paying vast sums of real cash from reality to a fiction world, which I find hard to understand how you could have such a distortion of reality where you think this is viable. The question a lot of you do have is, why is this persistent? If we have understood all this, how can this still be happening? Because the main reason is it works on two principles. One is on human emotions. It preys on human emotions, and there's a tried and tested method. And all things like what I'm doing the series with Anand, the 48 Laws of Power. If you've read Persuasion, the book which famously Charlie Munger had recommended, it shows you over and over again people are susceptible to this. that end of the day, with the right triggers and the right motivation, even the smartest man, even the famous Isaac Newton, made this mistake, running behind a scheme like this and losing it in a bubble. So, one is that human emotions. Second reason why this is hard to stop is because of regulations. Regulatory environment in this world right now is challenging. The reason why there's a 300% jump in all this in the US, especially FBI is saying, is because of the current political climate which is there in the US, where majority of the Americans feel they've been repressed and they've been held back since 2007, 2008, while all the bankers and all these top guys have made all the money, they've been left holding the short straw. Now they don't want any kind of regulation. They don't want government oversight. They want to be free of all this. They want to be free to pursue of their happiness. And in that moment, it's like a child suddenly telling the parents, I don't want you anymore. I can do whatever I want. And the parents, little they can do, and other than watch the child sometimes hurt themselves. And this is happening. And the reason why mainly I'm doing this video is because a lot of you keep asking me and my brother repeatedly for penny stock advice. Is this which you can buy for 2 rupees and see it go to 4 rupees and exit? Please don't do this, because it's proven over history over and over again that you cannot become wealthy doing penny stock trades. Of course, there is an odd story about the right guy at the right time who happened to exit the market supposedly and walk away with cash. But 99.9% of the gamblers who gamble all tend to lose money because it's addictive and you never know when to exit and you'll be stuck inside it. This is the same true with credit cards. The reason why me and my brother are so vehemently against credit cards is when you don't have the financial discipline and you're given a product like a credit card and then it's set free on you, you do not know what to do. You don't have the controls of the safety rail guards in place and understanding of the product. You tend to overuse it, and before you know it, you're stuck in a vicious loop of debt cycle. This is same is true with penny stocks. So try to curtail your FOMO. I know it's difficult, but penny stocks is not the way to create wealth. The way to create wealth is to buy good companies at good prices and do it repeatedly in small increments over a long period of time. Like how everything else, it sounds logical to you. If I say you cannot starve yourself and become skinny, same is true for any form of exaggerated action. Any kind of exaggerated action would lead to disaster because it never works. So this is the main impetus of this video, because I read the story and it really struck a chord with me, that amount of you who keep asking me for penny stock tips. Some of you are even crazy enough to think that South Indian Bank is a penny stock. South Indian Bank is not a penny stock, my friend. South Indian Bank is a very good bank and it's at an affordable price for most people who are entering the stock market with very little capital in hand. When I say affordable price, I mean it is reachable for someone who just is investing 100 rupees, 200 rupees a month in a market. There is South Indian Bank, which is in an affordable, graspable range. It doesn't mean 20 rupees is affordable. What I'm talking about is the price which is affordable. Is the question of, is South Indian Bank at a good price today? That is something you have to learn to evaluate and understand. And that is what me and Anand have been trying to do repeatedly over the years in various mediums and platforms, is trying to educate you to educate yourself before you invest. And if you don't educate and invest, you will have anxiety, you will have fear, or you'll have an irrational exuberance thinking that you're very smart, all of which would finally lead to disaster. So if you're feeling anything but boredom when you're investing, then you're doing it wrong. It has to be absolutely boring when you're investing. The more boring your investing is, the more correct is your method to investing. I know it sounds counterintuitive. It sounds absolutely hideous when I say this, because I can see Arun looking behind me at the camera and saying, sir, what you're saying, boring. Why would anyone want to do anything which is so boring? I already do work 7-8 hours a day, which is absolutely boring. Why would I take more boredom upon myself? I understand that. But investing is built on these kinds of principles. Anyway, today was the video which is more like a disclaimer, which is more like a social service, with a warning, which I wanted to give it out there about penny stocks, and to keep it in mind and not to get swayed by news, what you see on a WhatsApp or what you see on a YouTube or what you see on Instagram. wherever you may find these kinds of news, learn to avoid it. Even if you get calls in the middle of your office hours, learn to say no. If anyone's asking for anything, learn to say no. And stick to your principles of investing. Stay in your circle of competence and keep it simple and keep it in increments. And you should be fine by the end of the time you're done with investing. Thanks for watching the video today. I hope you had a wonderful day and a wonderful evening. I'll be back tomorrow with another video with hopefully with Anand or Shashwat, or maybe I will get into discerning some of your comments and go through those and give you my views and feedback on that. Maybe I can do that for a change tomorrow if time permits. Thanks for being with me again. See you tomorrow and have a great evening. Bye.